Lecture de Shambhala, The Sacred Path of the Warrior. Chapitre 17. Natural Hierarchy. Living in accordance with natural hierarchy is not a matter of following a series of rigid rules or structuring your days with lifeless commandments or codes of conduct. The world has order and power and richness that can teach you how to conduct your life artfully with kindness to others and care for yourself. The principles of heaven, earth, and man that we discussed in the last chapter are one way of describing natural hierarchy. They are a way of viewing the order of the cosmic world, the greater world of which all human beings are a part. In this chapter, I would like to present another way of seeing this order, which is part of the Shambhala wisdom of my native country of Tibet. This view of the world is also divided in three parts, which are called La, Nien, and Lu. These three principles are not in conflict with the principles of heaven, earth, and man, but as you will see, they are a slightly different perspective. La, Nien, and Lu are more rooted in the laws of the earth, although they acknowledge the command of heaven and the place of human beings. La, Nien, and Lu describe the protocol and the decorum of the earth itself, and they show how human beings can weave themselves into that texture of basic reality. So the application of the La, Nien, and Lu principles is actually a further way to invoke the power of Drala or elemental magic. La literally means divine or God, but in this case, La refers to the highest points on earth rather than the celestial realm. The realm of La is the peaks of the snow mountains where glaciers and bare rock are found. La is the highest point, the point that catches the light of the rising sun first of all. It is the places on earth that reach into the heavens above, into the clouds. So La is as close to the heavens as the earth can reach. Psychologically, La represents the first wakefulness. It is the experience of tremendous freshness and freedom from pollution in your state of mind. La is what reflects the great eastern sun for the first time in your being, and it is also the sense of shining out, projecting tremendous goodness in the body. La is the head, especially the eyes and the forehead, so it represents physical upliftedness and projecting out as well. Then there is Nien, which literally means friend. Nien begins with the great shoulders of the mountains and includes forest, jungles, and plains. A mountain peak is La, but the dignified shoulders of the mountain are Nien. In the Japanese samurai tradition, the large starched shoulders on the warriors' uniforms represent Nien principle. And in the Western military tradition, epaulettes that accentuate the shoulders play the same role. In the body, Nien includes not only your shoulders but your torso, your chest, and your rib cage. Psychologically, it is solidity, feeling solidly grounded in goodness, grounded in the earth. So Nian is connected with bravery and the gallantry of human beings. In that sense, it is an enlightened version of friendship, being courageous and helpful to others. Finally, there is Lu, which literally means water being. It is the realm of oceans and rivers and great lakes, the realm of water and wetness. Lu has the quality of a liquid jewel, so wetness is connected here with richness. Psychologically, the experience of Lu is like jumping into a gold lake. Lu is also freshness, but it is not quite the same as the freshness of the glacier mountains of La. Here, freshness is like sunlight reflecting in a deep pool of water, showing the liquid, jewel-like quality of the water. In your body, Lu is your legs and feet, everything below your waist. La, Nian, and Lu are also related to the seasons. Winter is La. It is the loftiest season of all. In the winter, you feel as if you were upstairs, above the clouds. It is cold and crisp, as if you were flying in the sky. Then there is spring, which is coming down from heaven and beginning to contact earth. Spring is a transition from La to Nian. Then there is summer, which is the fully developed level of Nian, when things are green in full bloom. And then summer develops into autumn, which is related with Lu, because fruition takes place, the final development. The fruit and harvest of the autumn are the fruition of Lu. In the rhythm of the four seasons, La, Nian, and Lu interact with one another in a developmental process. This applies to many other situations. The interaction of La, Nian, and Lu is like snow melting on a mountain. The sun warms the peak of the mountain and the glaciers and snow begin to melt. This is La. Then the water runs down the mountainside to form streams and rivers, which is Nian. Finally, the rivers converge in the ocean, which is Lu, the fruition. The interaction of La, Nian, and Lu also can be seen in human interactions and behavior. For example, money is La principle. Establishing a bank account and depositing your money in the bank is Nian, and drawing money out of the bank to pay your bills or to buy something is Lu. Or another example is as simple as having a drink of water. You can't drink water out of an empty glass. So first you pour water into the glass, which is the place of La. Then you pick up the glass in your hands, which is Nian. And finally you drink, which is the place of Lu. La, Nian, and Lu play a role in every situation in life. Every object you handle is connected with one of those three places. For example, in terms of clothing, the hat is the place of La. The shoes are in the place of Lu. And shirts, dresses, and trousers are in the place of Nian. If you mix up those principles, then you instinctively know that something is wrong. For instance, if the sun is beating on your head, you don't put your shoes on your head as a visor to protect you from the sun. And on the other hand, you don't walk on your eyeglasses. You don't stuff your shoes with your ties, and for that matter, you shouldn't put your feet on the table because it is mixing up Lu and Nian. Personal articles that belong to the law realm include hats, glasses, earrings, toothbrush, and airbrushes. Articles belonging to the realm of Nian are rings, belts, ties, shirts, and blouses, cufflinks, bracelets, and watches. Articles belonging to the place of Lu include shoes and socks and underwear. I'm afraid it is as literal as that. La, Nian, and Lu are quite straightforward and very ordinary. Observing the order of La, Nian, and Lu is what makes human beings civilized, and therefore we might refer to them as the ultimate protocol. By following the order of La, Nian, and Lu, your life can be harmonized with the order of the phenomenal world. Some people would like to ignore such basic societal norms. They say, so what if I put my shoes on my head? But everybody knows that something is not quite right in doing that, although nobody knows exactly why. People have an instinct that prompts them to have a place for each article of clothing or household belonging. Those norms actually make sense. Your bedroom and your entire house are much tidier if you put certain belongings in certain places. From that, you develop rhythm and order in your experience. You do not throw your garments on the floor. You do not put your slippers under your pillow. And you do not use your airbrush to polish your shoes. Ignoring the order of La, Nian, and Lu is very destructive. If instead of winter, summer followed autumn, and if instead of autumn, spring followed summer, the whole order of cosmic principles would be violated. In that case, crops wouldn't grow, animals wouldn't reproduce, and we would have devastating droughts and floods. When the order of La, Nian, and Lu is violated in society, it is like disrupting the order of the seasons. It weakens society and causes confusion. Sometimes you see the violation of La, Nian, and Lu reflected in the action of political leaders. The President of the United States putting his feet on the desk of the Oval Office, or the famous incident of Premier Khrushchev pounding his shoe on the United Nations podium. It is not that those actions in themselves are the real problem. Incorporating the law of La, Nian, and Lu is more than just having good manners. What is truly problematic is the attitude that violates the sacredness of life. Thinking that the way to make a forceful statement is to turn the world topsy-turvy by ignoring its basic norms. You lose your trust in the phenomenal world, and at the same time, you become an untrustworthy person yourself. Someone who thinks that wheeling and dealing is way through life is the road to success. Maybe there is some temporary victory in that kind of approach, but ultimately, you are throwing yourself into the gutter of the world. So respecting the order of La, Nian, and Lu is very important. This does not mean just paying lip service to those principles by having an orderly household with everything in its place. You begin by appreciating your world, by taking a fresh look at the universe, which we have discussed over and over. Then, out of that, you feel the presence of La, Nian, and Lu. in your body, your entire being. You feel the wakefulness and the vision of La, the solidity and gentleness of Nian, and the rich possibilities of treating the earth, which are Lu principle. Then, from the discovery of basic decorum, you begin to understand how to join the La, Nian, and Lu principles together by giving yourself to others, by serving your world. Joining La, Nian, and Lu is exemplified in the act of bowing, which in many Oriental cultures is a traditional greeting. For the Shambhala warrior, the bow is a symbol of surrendering to others, serving them. We are not talking here just about the literal act of bowing, but about the warrior's whole attitude towards his or her life, which is one of selfless service. When, as a warrior, you make a bow, you begin by establishing your head and shoulders, uplifting your posture. You don't just roar in and bow, but first you hold yourself erect. This connects you with the realm of La and with raising wind horse. It is as if you had glaciers on your head, as if you were Mount Everest. Then, from that cutting and fresh glacier mountain realm of La, you begin to bend down by lowering your head and hunching slightly. You give to your shoulders from your head. This is making friends with Nian. You acknowledge the breadth and vastness of your shoulders. Then, finally, you complete your bow. You submit to the realm of Lu. You completely surrender. Your entire three systems of La, Nian, and Lu are offered as you bend down. Bowing is giving away basic goodness and wind horse to others. So in bowing, you are surrendering potential power and magic, and you do that with real proper feeling. It is a threefold process: hold, feel, and give. First, you have to hold, otherwise you don't make any statement. If you bow to someone by just flopping down, that is a very gullible bow. It does not have any ear to it. The witnesser of that bow, the person you bow to, will regard you as an untrustworthy person. The idea is that the magic of the bow, the power of the bow, actually confirms both people. When you bow to your friend or to a good, trustworthy person, you also possesses that power. Who also possesses that power, Then you are sharing something together. If you bow to the setting sun, if you bow to Mickey Mouse, you are degrading yourself. The warrior never does that. So the bow is based on acknowledging someone else's worth, his or her La, Nian, and Lu existing in front of you. And as a mark of respect, you do not rise from your bow until the other person rises. The bow represents a complementary exchange of energy, as well as being a mark of decency, loyalty, and surrender. It is both an example and an analogy of how to join La, Nian, and Lu together. Basically, the point is to serve the world. Tools which help us to shape our world are also regarded as joining La, Nian, and Lu and should be given special respect. The same is true for human beings who help to shape the lives of others by serving them. So a teacher is highly respected because he or she is joining La, Nien, and Lu in the students. Ideally, politicians and public servants also have this role. The role of the warrior altogether is to join La, Nien, and Lu in order to help his or her fellow human beings. Living in accordance with natural hierarchy is not a matter or following a series of rigid rules or structuring your days with lifeless commandments or codes of conduct. The world has order and power and richness that can teach you how to conduct your life artfully, with kindness to others and care for yourself. However, just studying the principles of La, Nien, and Lu is not enough. The discovery of natural hierarchy has to be a personal experience. Magic is something you must experience for yourself. Then you will never be tempted to put your hat on the floor. But more importantly, you will never be tempted to cheat your neighbors or your friend. You will be inspired to serve your world, to surrender yourself completely. So that was about natural hierarchy in the Shambhala teachings, the sacred path of the warrior of Shogyam Trungpa. See you next chapter.